Morning, Ronnie. I'll top about half a dozen or so before I head to work today. Actually, probably going to start on a whole new box to get ready to try to sell. I started out with the wrong thread. That's not what I wanted to use. I was wanting to use that. Something a little brighter, something that stands out pretty good. Rick, what's up, buddy? So what's everybody up to on this fine Tuesday morning? Mid-morning, almost afternoon. Depends on what shift you work. Or depends on what time you get up, I guess. I got it all different lengths, so we're going to give it a haircut. Try to get it all the same length. That is all we're going to put in this jig is that color flash, working on the shop light from a time station. Man, it's hard to get in that lighting right. You have no idea how much time I've worked trying to get the glare off stuff. I got LED lights from Walmart, and I got an overhead light that, I don't know, probably more trouble than what it's worth trying to fool with, but I get a pretty bad glare on stuff every once in a while. I know I do. That's all we're doing today, just making a simple, easy ties. I feel like I should have added something else to that. Pretty simple. Sometimes that's the stuff to work, so. I think mine are kind of like the same thing. They're 4 foot. They got 2 LED strips in them. Sometimes it's just hard trying to figure out exactly where your glare is going to be. Sometimes it helps if it seems like I get a little better lighting if I leave my garage door open. If I close my garage door, I start getting weird glares on stuff. But yeah, thanks, Glenn. That's not a bad little jig right there. Simple, and it'll work. Counting down the days till I'm on first shift. I got to give a good shout out. I got some stuff from my buddy in the mail, Mark, Catfish and Crappie. If y'all haven't, and I don't know how many y'all have or how many y'all watch, but check their podcast out on YouTube. They do a great job. They have a good time. Uh, Definitely worth watching. Mark, Lyle, James Dockery, that whole crew. Uh, they're fun to watch and listen to. We got roofers working across the street. We got hit with that big hailstorm in toward the middle end of April. Man, it tore everything in this neighborhood up pretty good. It got us pretty good. We had to replace the roof, siding, vehicle damage. You know, you get that flash. Here's a tip. You get that flash off Amazon. You can use that as tail material. You don't have to just use it as flash. It holds up pretty good. I've never had any of it come off or unraveled or lose its color, but most of the time I end up losing jigs way before any of that ever happens. Way before that happens. Yeah, that storm got us good. We was getting hail about 3/4 the size of a baseball. We got hit. The neighbors, just about all the neighbors on this end of our street got it. Got us pretty good. Insurance guys were busy for a few days. Yeah, I seen that video. That was some pretty big hail. I thought what we had was pretty big. That was crazy. I seen that video of a truck, and you can sit there and just watch the windows getting beat out of it. Wasn't quite like that here. It was like just sporadically, randomly, just one big hail ball would hit. Some of them would hit and just splatter all over the ground, and then some would hit and bounce, some would shatter. I was sitting at the front door watching it and watching it knock holes in the side of our house. And just out of curiosity, so I know when I go to first shift and I get doing a regular content, is anybody interested in watching the plastics? Don't seem like those videos get very good views. Just kind of curious. That's all. Well, thought about doing videos on what I do to my really cheap molds to make the baits come out a lot better. Because you can get molds off of Amazon. I got some really, really cheap molds, plastic molds from Amazon, and I kind of modified them. And when the baits come out, they got a whole lot better look to them. I did that with some of the Do It Sandcast molds also. And I really wasn't going to give out that secret on what I do to those molds. And it might not even be that big of a secret, I actually tell you the truth. There are big old wasp flying right around my camera. I'd rather deal with the snake than a wasp. One thing about summertime, man, is they all start flocking inside the garage. Just might lead into making plastics. That's kind of how I got into it. I was watching people on YouTube doing it. Thought, man, they can't be that hard. And honestly, I'll tell you this, I believe it is more addicting than hand tying. The possibilities you can do with plastic is crazy. I don't know how to get them to come out better. You got to Do It mold. That was the first one I done it to, was a Do It mold. And they got this dull looking color to them. You know, I mean, your bait's coming out no better than what your color is. I mean, your color is going to be the best thing about that bait, but it's still got this, they're not shiny. Anybody that's got a Sandcast Do It mold knows what I'm talking about. They come out, the bodies pick up the pitting in that Sandcast, and it does not allow for a very shiny bait to come out of it. Well, I'll probably do them like every once in a while. Just, you know, when I come up with something that's kind of neat. I'm kind of reluctant on giving away too many more of some of the stuff I do. But that's why I started this channel, was to help people improve what they were doing and to help people find the cheapest way to do what they were doing. You know, because I don't really promote very many specific products, and I probably never will. So, you know, if I find something on Amazon that works better than something at Bass Pro, I'll tell you that. And if I find something at Hobby Lobby that works better than Amazon, I'll tell you that. I don't like a lot of people get into this hobby just because they don't want to pay for crappie jigs. They'd rather make their own, and they got time to kill. You know, things like that. So I thought about it, you know, and I wasn't going to share those secrets, but I think I probably will. I think I'll probably make a YouTube video on what I did, my Do It molds, and I got one Do It mold left that I did not do it to. So what I'll probably do is like a before and after. And I might even do that video tomorrow, how to improve what your Do It molds will do. And even your plastic ones, even those plastic molds from Amazon, we're doing the same thing. And I don't really know what causes the plastic molds to do it. You know, I mean, I'm talking like a mold that's actually made out of plastic. You'd spray it down with, put your oil in it, shoot it, come out super shiny. Your mold's still wet from the oil, you shoot it again and it come out just dull as all get out. So being that they were only like $25, $30 molds. I did to it what I did to my Do It mold, and lo and behold, it came out super nice and shiny. So don't let those plastic molds on Amazon fool you. They will shoot a good bait. You just got to modify it some. But I have bought a couple of molds off Amazon, the plastic ones that are just total junk. I believe I'll do that tomorrow. I will show y'all how to change what your sand cast molds will do. I'd really like to get where I could do live YouTube videos from the boat, but I don't keep enough reception on any of the lakes around here to be able to do them from the boat. Man, I get a lot of people that message me about that, you know, thanking me for teaching them how to tie jigs. Number one best advice I can give somebody on tying jigs is slow down, take your time. Slow down and take your time. Pick your colors, choose your colors. Hopefully by, I think it's probably going to be sometime July when I'm on first. That'll open up more to Saturday mornings of being able to fish and stuff like that. I'm kind of excited about that. Might get back into maybe even doing some bass fishing tournaments. Might even do that. I'm gonna tie one more. It's 11 o'clock and I'm gonna call it done for today. I gotta get around, get to the post office, get some stuff delivered. Thank you, Glenn. I greatly appreciate that. Sometimes you need a little positive reinforcement when you're doing jigs. I don't get a whole lot of feedback from people. I do and I don't. Usually if I don't hear anything, I assume they did what they were supposed to and they were happy with them. I don't know if I've ever really had any complaints on my hand-tied jigs. I know I don't make it super easy for somebody to be able to buy them, but you know, I have no idea how to set up a website, and I don't need my fingers doing that. I've tried. What brand of plastic do you like? I am using Dead On right now. Love Dead On plastic. That, honestly, that is all I've used since I've started was Dead On. I switched. I started out with a soft, I can't remember which one I started out with, but I've changed from, I don't shoot saltwater, but I shoot the one right underneath of it, which I think is tube and crawl. That's what I shoot now. It seemed like the other stuff was just a little bit too soft. Just seemed like they needed to be a little bit firmer. So I switched to the next one up, but staying just under the saltwater blend. Then 2 weeks ago, I actually bought a gallon of saltwater blend from Bait Plastics. And for some of my bass baits, I've been mixing back and forth. Like I'll use a half a cup of the swim bait from Dead On and then half of a cup from Bait Plastics, and mix those together and kind of come up with a pretty tough blend. I just sent some baits to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he was wanting tough baits. So I shot them strictly out of the swim bait. Might have been what I was using to start out with. I sent some to Louisiana, and I used nothing but the saltwater blend. The thing with the saltwater blend, it's got a very strong odor. Even though it says it does not, it does. The smell was totally different. It was borderline, I don't want to say unbearable, but pretty close to it. I set up a fan blowing this way and then another fan sucking out the garage door to try to get rid of some of that odor. But it is definitely, and I don't know if all the saltwater blends are like that, but the stuff from Bait Plastic was. But it's a extremely durable plastic. But I will say that I do like, I love Dead On's plastic. Very low odor. You can work with it longer. But I haven't used anything else from anybody else that's not saltwater. So Dead On is really the only one I can give you a review on my, and that's my opinion on the Dead On. I love all the other stuff from Dead On also. The dyes, or the pigments. I love the neon dyes. I love their, absolutely love their glitter and all that stuff. Mark, what's up? We were just talking about you at the beginning of this video. But yeah, for liquid plastisol, Dead On is absolutely my favorite. Very easy to work with. Very low bubbles. Even though I got like 2 gallons left in this 5-gallon bucket, for some reason I have got it so full of air. Oh yeah, I guarantee it was bad, Mark. And I don't use a vacuum chamber to pull my air out. But now I'm wishing I had a vacuum chamber. I don't know what I did. I'm guessing it's the humidity. And it could be the way I've set my 5-gallon bucket up too. And I'll maybe do a video on that. And as of right now, I do not recommend doing it. I think it's got to do with humidity. But what I did is I took another 5-gallon bucket with the lid. I drilled a hole in the top. On the bottom of it, I put a spigot on there. The hole in the top is I leave my mixer inside of it. The rod comes out through the top. I hook my drill to it and I mix it up and never take the lid off the bucket. That hole in the top is just a little bit smaller diameter than the rod that I'm using to mix with. And I think the humidity and moisture has worked its way down inside that rest of that 5-gallon bucket. And I can't, other than cooking it out, I can't get the air out of it. So when you see all those videos and those guys talking about you absolutely have to have something to suck the air out of it, you don't. As far as I can see, you can get it up to temp, get it up to 350, 360 degrees. You can see the air bubbles coming to the top. Start letting it cool down. Those air bubbles are trapped there, like almost at the top. Let it cool back down, put it back in the microwave, get it back up to temp again, and the rest of those air bubbles will come all the way to the top, and you can take a spoon and you can scrape all those bubbles off the top of it, and then just throw that away, because you'll never be able to use that for anything. Another thing that'll help too is taking your plastic injector and going all the way to the bottom of your cup and pulling it out. I don't know if you can, it's such a thick consistency. I don't know if vibrating will get the air bubbles out of it or not. And anybody that does plastic, you'll know what I'm talking about. When you get those micro air bubbles in it, it's a pain, and you know what, to get them air bubbles out. other than just cooking it, letting it come out, letting it come out, letting it come out. But I should have another 5-gallon bucket of plastisol showing up this week. So I might experiment with that 2 gallons and try to figure out a better way to get those air bubbles out of it. Sporting the hat, Mark. Thank you, sir, man. I appreciate that. I love getting new hats in the mail. Love it. I'll have, I'm going to send you something a little more toward the end of the week. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. But we're looking, like I said, we're looking at another, hopefully, 1st of July, maybe second week of July, I'll be back on first shift. I have been on second shift at this place for 15 years. I am so ready to go to first. So ready to be back on day shift. But I've been on, honestly, I've been on some form of night shift since 1992, ever since I graduated high school. Long overdue. And with that being said, this is probably going to be my last one. I'm going to go look at that do it mode and see, make sure I can do that. If I can get that do it mode worked out, yeah, I paid taxes on my boat too here in Missouri. I know what you're talking about. But I'm going to check out that do it mode and make sure I haven't modified that one. If I haven't modified that one, I will do a video tomorrow on how to take a cheap crap plastic mold and turn it into a good mold. I ain't saying do it modes is crap mode. It's a cool mode. All of them are cool. Trying to fix a crappy finish and turning it into a really good finish. So with that being said, I'm getting off here. Like, share, subscribe. Send me a comment. Let me know what you think. Send me some ideas of what y'all want to see me do live. And we will be back at it probably tomorrow. Look for another video to go up tomorrow on how to modify your ugly mold.